There's
Yeah.
no weed in there.
No, no. There's weed in this one, but this is
Okay.
nicotine. I got both of them.
That's good. Hey everyone, this is Sid Satellite, and I have with you today my friend Leah Moser, good old friend from long time ago, 1,000 years ago.
Thousands of years.
Yeah. Say hi, Leah, everyone.
I'm Leah. I'm
This
one of
is
Sid's
Leah.
friends.
Yeah, she's one of my friends.
We're friends.
We're friends.
We've been friends.
So tell me about yourself, Leah. Leah Moser.
Hi, Sid. Um,
Not that I don't know, it's for
yeah,
the
yeah. It's for
viewers.
it's for the viewers. I get it. Quick introduction. I am a woman from Beijing, China. I
Mhm.
am. My dad is white and my mom is Chinese, and I am a mix. And I uh, grew up in Beijing for like 12 years, and then now I live in White Plains, New York.
So you
And I
moved here. You moved to New York when you were 12.
no, I moved to America when I was 19. Yeah. Um I lived in America really briefly when I was like in elementary school for like 4 or 5 years, I think. But I was in China starting from like the third grade, so I was at least like 8 years old.
Hmm.
And then I graduated high school in China, so I was in China for the rest of that time. Um,
Cool. So where were you
and yeah,
born?
I was born in Beijing. It
Oh,
was a
cool.
whole yeah, like my life story is kind of complicated because I was born in China, and then starting from like my birth, I was just like
Hmm.
like went back and forth sort of just like for the rest of my like childhood, adolescence. So it's been this like, like it's like two different sides of the world, and you kind of have to be on both sides, and so it's just a lot of like going back and forth.
I think that makes one very smart, like emotionally, because you can always sense people,
Yeah,
are you know.
I think it makes you realize that like the society, like the reality that you live in is not the reality for everybody in the entire world. And the funny thing about living in America, like especially, after I was already, like kind of an adult, is like you kind of realize like how insular like the viewpoint is. Like I think a lot of people think that like the rest of the world is just like that, they think like this, and this is how, I think that like rationally you're like, oh yeah, different cultures are different, but it's very difficult for people to imagine like how it would feel to think differently about things. And so it kind of like puts that reality right in your face, where like people are really different depending on where you go, and you just sort of have to figure out how to like live in both places like comfortably, and have to deal with that sort of like going back and forth of like, one culture, the next culture, like how do I exist in this culture, how do I exist in this culture, like how do I sort of remain the person that I am, even though I keep having to go like back and forth between these like two very different
Right. And
environments. Yeah, I'm sorry,
don't
I'm rambling.
no, no, no. That like started so many sparks in my head of what you're saying.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
about
I mean
myself? Yeah,
yeah, it's interesting to think about. And it's like I think it's probably the same with you. Like I didn't
not
really
as
start
intense
thinking
as
about
you,
it.
but yeah, yours is
Yeah, I
mine
mean, but
times five or something.
yeah, you like, but I feel like everybody that grew up sort of in a situation like ours um have like a better sense for that, or at least like know how to deal with like and I think that it becomes more obvious too. Like there's lots of people that I like, a lot of friends that I had in China also left China for college. And a lot of most of them don't live in China anymore. And so it's like I think a lot of them have had similar experiences where they kind of realize that like um like people just operate differently here when they don't have that perspective.
When was the first time you realized something was up? Like, wait a second. Here I am, and
Yeah.
you're like 50-50. Like, I mean, I'm sure you realize that pretty early on when you're in Fang Saudi. Is that where you went?
I didn't go to Fangtao. A lot of people, most people from 55 did. I didn't though.
Oh, we're talking about the
Actually,
elementary school, by the
yeah,
way.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
like a Chinese elementary school in Beijing that a lot of kids that ended up going to our middle school slash high school went to for elementary school. It's a cool school. Like Andrea went there, and like
Yeah.
all of like the white people in China who can speak perfect Chinese, like they all went to
Beijing. Yeah.
Fangzhou. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that makes me a little bit jealous because I wish that I could like speak Chinese like that. But I went to the same elementary school that you went to.
You.
You
You.
Sitges, yeah. We went to the
LLUC.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That was weird. I didn't actually I knew Yuke, but I didn't talk to him when in elementary school because I was like a child and he didn't care about me. I mean, I didn't care about him either, but like we just didn't talk to each other. And then after, I think I became friends with him through you, which is funny.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about that story in a little bit.
About Yuke?
No, for how I met you first.
Oh, me? Yeah, I don't even really remember
No,
the
I,
first time I met you.
I'm kind of psycho like that. I remember first times of meeting people,
No, that's
important
fine.
people.
I'm glad that you do.
Hmm.
I feel like it was probably like the first time that you actually realized that I was a person, because I feel like because you're like a couple years older than me, so you were already like kind of like used to 55 by the time I got there. I was just like a kid and I was like, oh, what is this place, you know?
Which
But
which year did you get there? Do you remember?
2009.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, yeah,
cool, perfect.
yeah. So yeah, like you were already there. And I do remember going into 55 and like seeing like you and like Roberto and Juan and like all of those people, and I was like, yeah, because I had like my rock music awakening like a few years earlier than that when one of my friends showed me Green Day. Yeah, like
Oh yeah.
I watched the music video for Boulevard of Broken Dreams by Green Day, and I was like,
Um,
oh, like this is my music.
get-
This is the music that I want to listen to. And so I had been
for people who don't know what 55 is, could you give a brief introduction?
oh oh
It's 55. What is 55? It
hell
sounds
on
very.
earth. No, it's
Exactly.
a sinking ship.
It,
a
it sinked a
dumpster
couple
fire.
times.
Yeah. 55 is an experiment gone wrong. It's a Chinese public middle school and high school that has an international section where they teach the IB program and they have classes in English. And it's supposed to be this sort of like hybrid school for like Chinese people and foreigners to sort of, like have a curriculum that they could use to like apply to colleges in other countries. So it was like the international section of a Chinese school. So it was run by Chinese people, but a lot of the students and some of the teachers were foreigners.
Right.
And so it was like an extra weird place where everybody was like culturally like not really Chinese in a place that was run by Chinese people. Um,
Mhm.
it's also it definitely, I don't know this for sure, but I did hear that the reason, because 55 sucks for a lot of reasons, like administratively, and also like there's just a weird sort of culture. I mean, at least when we were there was a weird culture in the school where like no one really knew what was going on.
No, no
Everyone
one,
was like, nobody communicated with each other and we'd all just sort of be lost.
no one was culturally sensitive.
Yeah,
This like
yeah.
said
Like,
things, but yeah,
yeah,
whatever.
horrible. Yeah, like the teachers would like get drunk with students, and like it was just like a
No, no,
weird school.
that's actually one of the good parts for me. But
I
that,
liked it. I
yeah, I
liked
liked
it, but
it.
I did realize afterwards that that's probably not the best environment to be learning things in.
No, yeah.
But yeah, it's a weird place. And I did hear that the reason that 55 has been able to keep going on the way that it has up until now is that they're the only reason that the IB program can exist in mainland China, or not in
Oh,
mainland China, but no, not mainland China. Sorry, Beijing specifically.
mm.
I think because they wanted like a local school to have the curriculum so they could see what they're teaching the kids in the other international schools that also provided IB.
Mm.
So apparently it was like a way for like the local government to like vet the curriculum and see like what they were teaching kids.
So
Because yeah,
China doesn't really have a drinking age
no.
limit, does it? So my first time I saw you, it was on one of my first. It was my first show with my band, and then there
Yeah.
was Leah with the same haircut as now,
Yeah.
but with glasses, and she was holding what I don't know, it was
It was a
a Beijing
Qingdao.
beer,
Yeah,
Qingdao
it
beer,
was a
and
Qingdao.
at that point I had never even had alcohol, and there was this 13-year-old, I don't know,
Yeah, it was like
14.
13 or 14.
I was 15, 16. Yeah, I remember seeing then. Yeah, so
Really? You
congrats.
never had a beer at that point?
No, I was
No
15.
way. I
No,
didn't know that.
I had it like 6 7 months after that.
Oh, wow. So you didn't even drink at that show?
No,
Huh.
now I can't imagine playing without drinking. But yeah, I'm not an
I mean,
alcoholic, by
that's
the way.
I mean, most of the people that I know, or not most, but a lot of the people that I know are alcoholics. America does that to you. You just need to cope.
In quarantine.
Oh yeah. You're bored. You're trying to find
Bored.
something to do.
And also like it creates different sparks, like so
Oh
many
yeah,
different.
yeah.
Not
Drugs are
only
fun.
alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fun.
Yeah. That was what bar, right? That
That
show?
was that was what bar?
Yeah.
I
That was
I left.
actually that was like the first like show that I actually that was like the first like nighttime like bar thing that I ever did was your
Oh,
show.
he looks like a pro. Like he did this like very often.
Ooh, yeah, that was like that was the first time that I ever drank a beer to like look cool.
Oh, it
Yeah,
worked.
it worked. I'm glad. I always thought that it didn't. It was
I,
weird. Like I just showed up and I think Yana was with me. I was like with somebody. I wasn't even planning to go to that actually. It's coming back to me now. Because I think Yana lived in my apartment complex. Yana is this Russian girl that was in my grade, and because we were in the same grade, we made friends a little faster. Hi, Yana. I don't know if you're, but Yana,
Someday.
yeah, but Yana, she lived in my apartment compound at the time, and so she knew where my house was and would just like show up sometimes. And asked me to hang out. And I think one night I knew that you were having the show, but I wasn't planning to go. But she showed up at my apartment and was like, "Hey, do you want to go to Sid's show?" And I was like, okay, like I would like to go to Sid, like that sounds cool, like I'll go, and
So
my parents let
55.
me go because Yana
Oh,
was
cool.
like at the door, so I
It's
went,
cool.
and that's why
It's a really cool.
I miss
Anyways,
that place.
55 was awesome because I always wanted to be in a band, but my English teacher got me that show, by the way. And then we made handmade flyers, printed like
Milligan.
no, Michael Malley.
Oh,
Milligan is my
Mally.
favorite.
Yeah,
But,
Mally
um,
was cool.
so yeah, so I wanna ask you, so how many languages do you speak? Two.
I only speak two.
Cool. That's
Only.
good enough.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
I wanted to ask you this question because I sometimes think about it. So when you think to yourself, because your mom's Chinese and dad's American, David Moser. Hi, David.
hi David.
Um, so do you think or dream in like Chinese or English? I'm thinking English, but has it ever happened that you got shocked by yourself? Like, wait a second.
Yeah, yeah, no, go for it.
No, no, that's the question.
Oh, that's
That's
it.
it.
Okay. Yeah, I have had like a couple dreams in Chinese. But they're usually they were dreams about my Chinese family. So I was like
Mm,
having a dream where I was like in my mom's hometown, which is like 2 hours outside of Beijing, like in the poorest province in China, basically. And it's like it's like a village, it's like the countryside. But I remember having a dream where I was like having a conversation with or they were having a conversation in their living room. But I think because most of the people that I interact with at least speak a little bit of English, I feel like most of my dreams are in English. And then most of like the media that I consume also is in English. And so I think if I'm dreaming about something that's specifically Chinese, I think there's a higher chance of actual Chinese going on in the dream. But I think for the most part, I dream in English, though I don't really remember my dreams so much anymore.
Yeah, and also
for a
sometimes,
combination of reasons.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I can understand.
Yeah, yeah,
And
you know.
I know. Sometimes the dreams don't even have languages. That's the most interesting thing. You just have
Hmm.
like feelings, you know.
Yeah, sometimes you're just wandering around doing like random shit.
Fucking
Sometimes things
loser.
don't make sense. Yeah, it's like
Just
no, I've
wandering
had
around.
I've had dreams where I've had to like trudge through the forest for some reason. Like I think I had a
Mm.
dream where I had a dream that was really like anxiety inducing because I was in the dream I was holding my laptop. I had my laptop in my hands and I was like gripping it into
Yeah.
my chest while I was wading through this like waist deep like river. I was like trying to move through to like from
Um,
one side to the other and I had my laptop in my arms.
I
And I was
had
like, why did I dream that?
I had a similar dream that kind of really connects to that. So I was by it. It was a beautiful dream happened like 4 or 5 years ago. I still remember. So I was like at this beach party kind of thing. It was nighttime, but it was like a cliff kind of beach. You know, I was on a
Yeah.
cliff. So on the edge of the cliff, I see this girl. She's like, "Come here," you know, with no language. She's like, "Come here." I
She's
went,
like, yeah.
and she's like, "Let's jump." And she jumped, and I jumped too because I didn't wanna. I didn't know where to find her if she jumped her alone.
Was it
You know.
good? Was it
Hold on,
fun?
I jumped, and just like you, I was like, "Fuck!" I gotta get my phone out of my pocket. And I put the phone on the shore, and then by the time I got back, she was gone. So
Was the phone still there?
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was a dream, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I try to
That's funny
find
though. Like
meanings and shit. Yeah.
yeah, we're so anxious about our phones that we have to take them out of our pockets before we jump into water in our dream.
They don't even let you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, do you even have a pocket in your dream? Like, do you have a phone in your dream? Like, if you didn't think about it, they wouldn't be there. But because you thought about it, you had to take it out of your pocket.
Yeah. Why was I thinking about it? Maybe because I think about losing my phone all the time,
Yeah,
even
I
in
mean, I think that's
reality.
like that's a normal anxiety for a lot of
It's
people.
like it has like affected us so much. Even in dreams, I cannot fall in
Yeah.
love because
Like
of a phone.
it's still so precious. Yeah, you're like none of this is real, but
Yeah.
it's so valuable.
Right.
Yeah, I feel that.
So wait. I think I kind of know, but what did you study for college, or like you took art, right?
Yeah, I'm still in college actually cuz I
Cool.
yeah, I mean it whatever. It's been I'm not mad at myself about it anymore cuz
Yeah.
a lot of it wasn't my fault. I was having like some health problems for like the last year. I'm doing a lot better now, but there was probably a full year where I couldn't do full-time classes. And so that kind of and then I also took a semester off just cuz I was like fuck this. um but yeah,
But in your soul, you're still like an artist. Doesn't have to be like a
yeah,
draw
yeah.
artist,
No, no,
but
no. I'm still in the same school in the same program. It's just taken me a little bit longer to finish. And I
mm,
actually don't mind that because I feel like I'm a little bit more serious now, I guess, or at least like I'm like I think the culture shock of having to come to America for undergrad was a little bit intense for me, and it took me like a little longer than I thought it would take to really get used to it. So I think a lot of those were issues for me in the beginning of college that aren't issues for me so much now, and I'm like a little bit more capable to deal with them. But it's like when I moved to America, I didn't have a driver's license. I didn't have like a bank account. I didn't have like any, I didn't, I had like one suitcase of stuff and like
drugs.
nothing. Yeah. Yeah. It's, oh, I wish. I
That's
wish.
really interesting to me
Yeah.
because here you are, you're American as well and Chinese, and but then you feel culture shocked when you got here. So let's take the moment to say the phrase "third culture kid."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's very interesting, and you know, do you even feel like you're Chinese or anything, or just yourself?
I feel like I'm just me.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I mean, and like you live in America now also, so I mean, but you also did what I think now was probably the smart thing, which was to stay in China for college and then move afterwards. Because then you
Mm,
got to have the college experience, but you were in a place that you were familiar with, which
Yeah, that
I
was the
think,
best.
yeah, like I think it felt like you had a lot of fun doing that, and I did not have that much fun like in the beginning of my college career. So I think, and it's like I can't go back in time now, but I think that was probably good for people like in our situation, because it definitely is, it's like I thought that I was American before I came to America. Like that's what I thought, it's like, oh, I'm an American, yeah. And then I moved to America like permanently for the first time like since I was a child, and suddenly had all of these things that I needed to deal with that I didn't anticipate. Like I think that you have an idea, like living far away from your home country for, so I don't consider it my home country anymore, which is like another thing, but like living far away from your home country for so long, it's like you have an idea of what it's supposed to be like, but you don't know for sure. So it's just like this imaginative thing where you're like, oh, it should be like this is what I've experienced, this is what I've seen in movies and stuff. But then you move here and it's actually like very different. And then that's when you have to
Exactly.
start dealing with, being like, oh shit, well, like how many things did I get wrong? What do I need to learn, really quickly? And so, yeah, I think like it's a lot to process, and I didn't really give myself uh enough like space or time to do that. And I think that led to me like kind of getting really burnt out really quickly, because I thought that I just had to deal with it. But it's like but then like a little while later, talking to a lot of other people from that I knew in China about that experience, it's pretty common. I think basically every person that I knew that lived there for a long time had that same experience, to just be like, you get really depressed and you're like, shit, like this is what this is what
So
I've been, waiting for.
there's always this cathartic moment when we share something and they're like, oh yeah, definitely, or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
same things with music or art, and that's the most beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Also, did your parents support? Your parents seem like very open-minded people. Did they
Uh,
support you dropping acid all the time? I'm kidding. like um yeah,
yeah.
it's like for art and stuff.
For art, by the time I actually went to college, yeah, definitely. But it took a little bit of convincing. And also, I think, and part of, not, it doesn't really matter, but like when I was hanging out with you guys at 55, I also really didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And I didn't really know what I was good at, and I didn't really know. And I think like I always liked art, but I never thought about it seriously as like something that I could do. And so that I just never bothered looking deeper into it. And then, you know, I think my parents realized at some point when I was like 16 or 17 that like, oh, like she really doesn't know what she wants to do, or like, doesn't really have a lot of passions for things.
I
And my
always
mom,
thought.
yeah, I had a talk with my mom, and she was like, maybe you should do art. And that's when I started like
Cool.
being like,
So,
oh, okay.
where's your mom and dad right now? Are they
My
like
parents
opposite
are,
parts of the?
yeah, my parents are still in, my mom is in Taiwan and my dad is in Beijing. So they're both in China.
This other day, because um, your dad was a musician too, right? That's pretty
My
cool.
dad still is a musician,
So,
kind of.
so your
Yeah.
mom is a writer or something?
No. My
Okay.
mom is an accountant. She's a financial person. She
Mm,
does finance.
cool. So she
Yeah.
was also
They're very
traveling.
different. They're like, yeah, she works for weirdly enough, because she's not the American one, but she works for the US government. She
Mm.
works for, because she got citizenship through my dad. And so now she works for the State Department, which is like all the embassies like around the world. And so every like 3 years she'll go to a new post basically and stay there for 3 years and then go
Well,
somewhere else.
anyways,
Yeah.
I'm really glad that they met because I wouldn't have a great friend like over the years. We like if you were not there in my life, like a lot of things would be different.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like you're
for
like
sure.
probably one of my oldest very good friends. Definitely.
I'm old.
But I mean, like I've known you for a really long time. We exchanged messages about this because I realized that you had like photos of me on your Instagram from like 2013, and I was like, have I really known Sid for that long? And it's like,
Let's
wow, I have.
let's take a sorry to interrupt. Let's take a countdown to share a couple of pictures
Oh
We're gonna
God.
discuss that later with your consent.
3, 2.
Hey, that was quite
That
good,
was
wasn't it?
fantastic.
That was brilliant. Fucking hell, how did we manage to
I
capture
love
that?
seeing pictures of us.
What's your favorite Chinese food, or
Oh man.
like? Okay, you can name two or
I
three.
can't.
And
No, it's that's already too little. Like I think like
okay,
Chinese food is my favorite food.
okay, that's a great answer.
Specifically noodles. Any kind of noodle. Anything that's noodle based.
Mhm.
Noodle soup preferably, but any type of noodle.
Mm.
Yeah.
Best
But it
noodles I've had.
yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, that's it. That's
the
it. I
best,
just
the
love noodles.
best, the best noodles I've had was when I went to Shanxi and they had
Oh
the they had the
yeah.
lumia with like chickpeas and if you're
Yeah, it's like the
minced
mian
meat.
pian, right? It's like not it's in a sauce but not soup. It's like
Yeah.
stir fry. Yeah, yeah.
Spring
Shanxi is.
onions
Oh.
and egg fried. It is so good.
I used to
And
eat so good in China. I don't eat like that
mm,
anymore.
mm. But a lot of good
Sad.
food. A lot of good food in America too.
Yeah,
Uh, I'm still
for
getting
sure.
used to it. I like it.
Yeah, I
Uber
don't.
Eats is spoiling my life.
Yeah, I like food in America. It's just I feel like in China you can get anything for so cheap, and that's what I liked about it. Is like you any food that you want, it's like you don't even have to make it. You can just like buy it cheaper than it would cost to make it, and it's so nice and it's so good. It's always fresh. Like I miss China. I miss Chinese food. I miss like having that variety of like stuff in my life.
Me too.
You
You know,
know.
like we just go out to eat with friends,
Yeah.
and then we buy a bunch of things, and we just
Yeah, you just
eat
get
for
like 10
hours.
dishes. Yeah, you just sit there, you drink like 10 beers, you know, you smoke some cigarettes.
Yeah, cigarette breaks in between.
Yeah.
It's like watching a movie. Here's the interval, and then you go
It's
back
like,
and
all right, we
finish
gotta
eating.
do you come back, you keep eating.
Yeah, it's like yeah, it's like a great long meal.
Yeah. And it's like if you want it, you can't do that in America so much because you feel bad, you know. I mean, first of all, everywhere closes at like 9 p.m. But on top of that,
9:30.
you know, it's like 9:30, and on top of that, it's like expensive, and you have to tip, and you don't want to sit there for too long, and like
Yeah, because
piss the waitresses off.
I've been a server. I was never a server in China, but I've been a server here, and then now I know how servers think and feel.
Yeah,
So I'm generally nice to them now, but also I understand that overstaying is like kind of bad because, yeah.
yeah. I mean, the servers in China don't care. I feel like the servers in China don't care so much because
Actually,
it's a
just
different,
yeah, I just go there and watch movies and
Yeah,
just
like
eat.
they don't give a fuck. Like they don't care if you stay there for too long but it's because like it's not like it's not like a shitty. I mean, it is kind of a shitty job, but I feel like they take care of you better in the restaurant than they do in the US. Like I feel like in the US it's lots of I also work service now. I have a delivery job, but I work at a Japanese restaurant that's run by Chinese people.
Mm,
So that's really weird because it's a service job, but it's a great service job because they're Chinese and they give you all of the Chinese benefits while also like giving you the American benefits. Like I get all my tips in cash at the end of the night, but also
same.
like they'll make me like
I did.
a little box of food to take home, and that's free. Like and it's like even if you don't want it, they make you take it. They're like, here, like this is your food, and I'm
Oh,
like,
that's
all
so
right,
sweet.
thank you. Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
nice. Um,
How long have you been working there?
um, like a few months. I've been working there since like November of last year, so not that long. I actually got this job by accident because I just moved in with like 3 new roommates like last August.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my roommates got this job after we moved into this house, and then he asked me to cover a shift for him like 1 week, and then the guys, like I met the guys and they're like, whoa, do you want to work here now? And I'm like, all right, I guess, like
Oh,
yeah,
that's
I would like money. Do you want to give me? I want money. Like I'll work for you.
I guess Leah, you're so charming that even his coworkers or her coworkers were like, "Oh, we would love to have you," and then
I try.
and here they have you. Um, yeah. So yeah, that brings me to another. What is that you smoking? Explain the flavor and everything
It's a vape. It's a grape flavored
for the people who
disposable vape.
for the people living in Somalia or whatever. They don't know what vape is. Explain.
so,
Or Nepal
so
in
an-
some village. I'm from Nepal.
yeah, that village in Nepal. So in America,
Dad, Dad, pay attention.
is this on? In America, they don't let you smoke anywhere. You can't smoke cigarettes anywhere. You can smoke them in some places, but virtually nowhere. So they have these, which are they're vapes. People in other places know what vapes are. It's an e-cigarette basically, and it
Oh,
tastes
so
like
that
grape. It's grape flavored. Yeah,
so there's
yeah.
no weed in there.
No. There's weed in this one, but this is
Okay.
nicotine. I got both of them.
That's good. I got
I'm
this
glad.
one.
I'm glad that I had it right there, just so I could be.
Yeah, it's like
That was
very
good.
natural to you.
Yeah.
It's very natural. That's a
Yeah,
good
weed
one.
is legal in New York now, so this is okay. It's
I think
okay for me to say that.
it's legal in DC as well, but I'm actually in the border, like Virginia.
Mm,
But it's beautiful. Like people, like there are streets that just smell like pot.
yeah, I
Imagine you live
bet.
in, you know.
Yeah, when you're that close to DC, I feel like it's a little bit different than like West Virginia, or
West Virginia is beautiful too. I went there to my friend was going to college there, some college, and he's like, "Hey, you want to go on a drive? I'm going to drive to my college, and you can just hang out in the streets while I go to class." I'm like, "Sure." I
hang
went
out
there,
in the street.
yeah, because he didn't want me to go to his class. Anyways, it was
Oh,
good,
okay. Yeah, I mean, I hear that like the like nature out there is really
and also
incredible.
before I moved to DC, my friend Reese, I'm gonna interview him
Oh,
soon.
Reese, I know. Yeah, I remember
You know Reese.
Reese.
Hi,
Yeah.
Reese.
Hi, Reese.
I hope you see this. So he was like, "Oh, you're going to Virginia, DC, or DC? Like DC is a place with a lot of city with a lot of good, like city with personalities." So I
Yeah.
was that phrase always stuck to me, like, "Oh, cities with personalities." And then I
Yeah.
actually went there, and I actually feel it. It, I feel it different when across the river and here. Here, I
Yeah.
don't know much people, but
Hmm.
there, all the friends I go to
Yeah.
music with is there.
DC is cool. I've been there like once. I think when you go to the parts that aren't like the touristy areas, like if you just go to like the regular neighborhoods, they're really cool.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
it's like, oh, this is actually a city. People live here. It's not just
Mhm.
monuments and all of that stuff.
Yeah, it's like I'm kind of gonna compare people with food because when I was in China, I used to
Yeah,
like
that's a very Chinese way to look at the world.
Okay, so when I was in China and I used to go have like let's say tacos, right? And then I'd be like, oh, tacos. It's not from here, but I get them. You know,
Yeah,
it's more rare in China. But
yeah.
and I feel
Tacos are expensive in China.
I feel the same way about Americans when I see them in their local habitats. Like, oh, I remember seeing Americans in China. I had really amazing friends, but here they are in the natural habitat, and I'm getting to experience that, and that's kind of an interesting feeling for me. I'm
How
still
do you
trying to
feel?
dig that.
How do you feel about it?
I feel it's cool. Like people have been so nice to me in America,
Hmm.
and I mean, like I'm
You're a
talking
nice
about
guy. They should be nice to
I'm
you.
talking
There's
to
no
good
reason
people.
to not be nice to you.
I've had good friends. They're so generous that they give me things. Like one of my
Oh,
friends gave me an electric guitar. Hi Jordan, thank you. Or like an amplifier. So I've been collecting things they just give me, and
wow.
I've been like they're so pure souls. Some of them, like I mean, I'm sure there are bad people out there,
Yeah.
but like it's good to know that across the world you can always
Oh
meet
yeah. There's
positive
there's
people.
good people everywhere. That's good. I mean, I'm glad that you still like attract that kind of energy. I feel like you always. That's why I liked hanging out with you so much. Like when I first started big boy school. Because it's like how do I make friends? Like who do I make friends with? And I feel like most of the people that were friends with you, I also became friends with, and it was like, oh, okay, like these are like the cool kind of like nice people that aren't just like shallow and
Okay,
and
thank
mean,
you.
or yeah, it's like, yeah, you like, I liked that, I came to 55 and I was like, oh, like there's a group of like literally like alternative kids, like you guys were like the alternative. I mean, you were like the pop, you were, I would consider you pretty popular, I guess, like in
It's
55.
it's strange
Yeah,
because the way I wanted to feel was not popular, but somehow I
like still cool.
okay, yeah, I appreciate that.
You can have like deep conversations and
Yeah,
like be authentic.
that's what we always need, and I feel like I've been seeing like different versions of you guys as I meet new people, and then I always see you guys in them. That's why it keeps making keep me going to make more friends because I want to see more of you guys in it. So I
Yeah,
think that's a beautiful way to put it.
yeah, that's nice.
High five, Sid. Good one. Yeah. So yeah. So talking about feelings and making friends, while making friends, we do tend to be misunderstood sometimes, and that I wanted to ask you, what's something people seem to misunderstand about you once in a while or more often? I mean, I'll give you time to think. Like, you can
Misunderstood.
you can couple things. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like I think most of the misunderstandings come from people like not asking questions.
Hmm.
Which is also like, that's that if that feels like a very like sort of distinctly like middle class American thing. Because I think, I guess it's like a cultural thing where I guess you're taught not to be like nosy or like not to get too much into other people's business. But I meet people and I'll like tell them things about my life, or I'll like, I'll just say that I'm from China, and I think that they make all of these assumptions and they don't want to ask questions about it, so they just like sort of assume that, they're like, oh, okay, and then they don't ask anything else. And so, you're just like, okay, like I guess they don't have any questions about that, and it's like they do, but they just think that it's rude to ask you, like questions about your life, or and like people have been offensive about it. Like I had one actually, like a few months ago, like in one of my classes, there was this guy. He was older. He's like 40 something. He has kids already, but I told him that I was from China, and he was like really interested. He's like, oh, okay. And then he said like, oh, like my perception of China is that it's a shitty place and that everyone's really poor and miserable. Like, is that true? I was like, that was a bad way to put it. Like, I would you could have asked that in a better way. But part of me was also like, I'm glad that he wasn't too scared to like ask me like what it was actually like. And then I told him and we had a conversation about it. But I feel like a lot of people, like I just say like, I'm from China, I didn't grow up here, and then they don't want to ask you anything else. And so I think a lot of the misunderstanding comes from that,
Hmm.
for the
I think
most part. Yeah.
you put it really beautifully and you analyze it so well. I think
I go to
for
art school.
real.
This is what I spend all my time doing. I spent the last 4 years doing this. Just like,
Yeah.
meaning. What is the meaning?
No,
What does it mean?
it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. You put it really well. You use your emotional intelligence combined it with language, and also your I don't know if you're introvert or outrovert. Outrovert, that's not a word. Extrovert.
Yeah.
And you combine all
Outrovert.
we combined all those to analyze it. It is beautiful.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad I asked you that question. I'm sure you have a couple more. If you have any, go ahead.
I mean, that's kind of it. I could get anecdotal about it. Like I could tell you stories, but it's like, I think that that's a good way to sort of generalize it.
I also liked how you brought culture in it because, like, some cultures tell you not to ask so many questions or like don't be nosy, and that
Yeah.
affects too.
Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, like my one of my roommates is from Virginia, and I think that it's
Mhm.
even more of like a culture there for sure. And so,
What is it?
uh I mean, she just like won't ask me like really basic stuff, like what like they I was trying to I wanted to oh yeah, like I think I heard her having a conversation where she was like, like she was like, yeah, like I'm not sure if Mo's I'm not sure if Mo's father is American, but I'm not sure like what kind of, I don't know what, and I don't want to ask her, I don't want to ask it about her parents. And
And then you
I was like,
overheard it.
yeah, I was just like, and I don't really, it's fine. Like, if she doesn't feel comfortable, it's not like that's not a big thing. She doesn't have to ask, but I'm just like, why would you be afraid to ask me about that? Like that just seems like such a small thing to, I feel like if I, we live together, like we're pretty good friends at this point, and I'm just like, I don't think that I would ever do that, where I
I
didn't know
think
something and I was like, I'm just not
um
gonna ask.
I don't know your roommate, but in her defense, I'd like to say because we were so exposed to like being in that situation all the time,
Yeah,
we're just like where's wrong? Because like that thing is stuck in our brains, and it's like part of us to ask people and be
yeah,
cool with asking. And
yeah, it's an
I think
instinct. Yeah, it's like the
yeah,
first thing you ask somebody.
maybe one of the reasons she didn't want to ask you, I don't know her personality, I don't know, but correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe she is acting that way is because she's a bitch. I'm kidding. It's because she doesn't want to get it wrong or something,
Yeah, no, I understand like being hesitant about it, and that's what I mean when I'm trying to be like, I don't really care, because it doesn't negatively impact me necessarily, at least not in ways that I can't deal with. So it's it's like everyone's own sort of decision about whether like what they want to ask people and when.
Yeah.
It just seems like it just for me personally it seems like a weird thing to be hesitant to ask somebody about, especially
Hmm.
given the situation, but like I do want to be sensitive to it, where I realize that like I'm not from here and I don't know how these people think necessarily. The way that I know how, and that yeah, that's like we're talking about third culture kids. Like we're kind of like our own like like breed of people. Like there's no, I don't think there's a lot of experiences like, racial, like gender identity, sexuality, like there's no real experiences that can fully mirror having to live like that, and having to adapt to that culture, and so it becomes the sort of thing where it's like I feel like if third culture kids had their own country, we would all just live in this one country together, but because we don't, it's like everyone just has to find their own way to deal with it in the world. um it's like being from a place that you can never go back to because it doesn't exist. It's just an idea, kind of.
Yeah,
It's a
exactly.
combination of things that creates this really specific environment where people sort of live this incredibly internationally set, like, lifestyle and like
Nationally.
ideology. Yeah, it's like really crazy actually.
I really needed to hear that because that's actually like I haven't like talked to someone like you in a while, and I needed to hear that to connect again, because kind of got lost myself here for a
Yeah,
while.
I mean, you get really
So,
isolated. I think that's part of like
and,
the depression of it, is you're just like,
and
where do I
yeah,
belong?
and this bittersweet experiences I've had recently, like for example, let's say people are like, oh, so they show me around their neighborhood, like this is where I met my friend, and there's my friend now, like I've had this experience when I was a kid, and I cannot share that experience because I'm not there anymore, and even in Nepal because I was always in China. So I wonder how people feel when they get to share those experiences, and I know you feel the same way.
Yeah,
And
in a way that people can understand, because it's like you tell
yeah.
that to someone that didn't live that experience, and they can be like, oh, okay, like, I'm sure that was hard, or I'm sure that was great,
But
or
for me,
whatever. But
for me, it only
yeah,
leaves me craving for that. Like,
yeah, yeah,
not
yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah. Like, yeah,
yeah.
it just makes you want someone that understands like what that kind of feels like. I have a really good friend that I met at my college. And I think the biggest reason why we're such good friends is because there's not, I go to a really small school, and so there's basically no international students. Like there's
What's the
maybe
school?
like SUNY Purchase. So it's the State University of New York system at Purchase College, which is in Westchester, New York. So it's like 45 minutes outside of like Manhattan, like NYC. So really close to the city. It's a good location and it's a good school. And there's lots of really interesting, talented people there. But
Okay.
it's just very local, and most of the people that I know are from New York, if not like America. So uh and then this friend that I have from school, his name is Raf. He grew up in Haiti, which is like an island in the Caribbean. And he's probably the closest that I've ever gotten in that school to someone that has that same sort of like international mentality, because like he didn't live in like an international community, but he does know what it feels like to like come to America when you're 18 and you know you're suddenly like, oh, I have to live here now, like shit, like this place is weird. You know, like there's weird shit that goes on here. And he's kind of the only person that I can really talk to about you know, just like how strange like our classmates are, and like how strange, you know, people that we know are. It's like, this is weird, you know. And I'm like, yeah, man, I know what you mean. And so I think that's like the one of the strongest things that comes from like being a third culture kid is just the fact that you can adapt so much more quickly than other people because you have had to do that for your entire life. And figure out how to deal with it. And it's still hard, like not that it's not still difficult, but it's more it's I'm used to it at this point, you know what I mean? Like, but Beijing has been changing a lot. It was already changing a lot like for the few years, you know, before I left, but you know, it just changes more and more. Like at a pace that feels kind of like way too fast, you know. It's kind of bad because like the last time I went back was like 2 years ago, and I have a feeling that the next time I go back it's gonna be like it's very like a lot more unrecognizable than it is right now, because so many of the places that I associate with Beijing are already gone, you know, in like the 4 years that I've been gone, you know. And it like all of the places that we like, Bar Street is gone, you know. I had so many nights, you know, in that place, and it's just gone, you know. All of the little shops and stuff that I used to go to like around my neighborhood are gone, you know. Like landmarks, like, you know,
fucking temple.
the hutongs are gone, temple is gone, you know.
Oh yeah, so I'm
Lantern
gonna
shut down for a little while.
I don't
Vix
care
is
about
gone.
Lantern.
Yeah, I know.
I
I
think
love
had
Lantern. I fucking love Lantern, bro.
Oh.
Don't talk shit about Lantern.
Fuck Lantern, man. Personal shit. But anyways, Temple brings me back this beautiful memory of you. Hold on, we went to see the Beijing band Cars. They're really good.
Yeah.
And then we took a cab or something back, and then there was a phone right next to Leah's seat, and she's such a beautiful human being from the inside and outside that she somehow managed to call his mom and found out or something, and she found out who this phone belonged to, and we invited that guy to Temple Bar, and we bought him a beer and we danced with him.
Oh yeah.
And then we gave him back the phone.
He bought us beers. Because what happened is he lost the phone, and I think he called. I was like, oh shit, like, and I was looking at the phone, and that somebody called the phone, and then I mean, I wasn't planning to keep it anyways. Like if I could have found out, or maybe I can't remember. I think someone called the phone though. But yeah, I was on the phone with this guy for like 30 minutes because he was like, wait, where are you? Like, where are you going? I was like, we're going to this place. And then he finally found it, and he was so happy that we gave him his phone back that he bought us drinks, and we hung out with him for a little while.
Exactly. I'm so confused who called, you or him.
I don't remember. I mean, it doesn't really matter, I guess, because either way he got his phone back. But yeah, I remember that. That was kind of stressful for me because I was just like, oh fuck, this guy like he keeps calling, he doesn't know where we are, and then he goes to the place that he thinks we are, and we're not there, and we go, you know. But he found us eventually.
That came to you naturally. That's pretty good. I don't know. I would be like, there would be a devil on the right and like angel on the left for me. Like, you know.
What are you gonna do with the phone? It's like I already have a phone. I don't want this guy's phone.
That's why I brought this up because.
I mean, yeah. I don't know.
I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know what to do. Like I wouldn't know. I've never found a phone, and you know. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the only time that I've ever really found a phone like that. And it was funny because we were like drunk, and I was like,
and this guy showed up,
like,
and
wow.
And then this guy showed up, and then the bands just stopped playing in Temple, and there was this DJ playing like a lot of rock music, and we were dancing with that guy. And
he was like, "I'll buy you a beer." He was a nice guy, actually. I think he had a kid. Because he
I
showed
don't
me
know.
like the wallpaper on his phone was like his daughter or something. Yeah, it was like this was
Oh,
like an older person. Like he was like he would have had nothing to do with us were it not for that situation. But
yeah.
I do that was that was kind of a beautiful moment where
It
we sort of
is. It was.
we joined
It was.
worlds temporarily
Mm,
for like one song and just we're like, yay,
yeah.
you got your phone back. Yeah, I mean
So
shit
so
like
the
that's always an adventure. Beijing's always
accidents make things happen. Accidents
yeah.
made you meet that guy. Accident made you work where you're working right now. Things like that.
Yeah,
Things connect.
yeah, fate has not been unkind to me recently,
Hmm.
which I'm thankful for.
And keep talking about it, and more beautiful things can happen to it. Because the fate is an attention whore. It just wants to be acknowledged, and once we make that happen, it'll do
Yeah,
kind things to us.
yeah. Sid is very philosophical.
Yeah.
Sid is a philosophy man.
My dad,
He's a
every
rambling man.
every R&B is
Oh
a
yeah,
drop of my
every
sweat.
R&B is a drop of my sweat. Song it.
And let's take this moment to because since we're already on the
Here's a
lighter side.
photo of Sid's dad.
Here it is.
Sid with his father. Here's a baby photo of Sid.
Okay, hold on. Here's a picture of Leah rolling a joint and calling me a
Oh.
pervert.
Oh my god.
Say that again. Fucking dirty pervert. That's what happens. Karma.
Fuck you.
Here's another memory of us. I don't know what it is, but here it is.
I will kill you. I have no space. Come on, please. Okay. It's a picture.
Okay. Since we're already on the lighter side of conversations, I wanted to ask you, dear friend, dear Leah Moser. 2009, 2010. Remember that time? Danger Days by My Chemical Romance came out,
Oh yeah.
and then I gave you like illegally downloaded cops listen
Yeah.
downloaded album.
Yeah, you gave
somehow.
you gave it to me on a USB. You were like, here,
It's
take this
cool.
USB.
Cool. So on my first episode, I gave a shout out to My Chemical Romance because
Mm.
Fernando wasn't into it, and on the second, I'll try to fit in My Chemical Romance every time because
I think you should.
Like I still like it, like times change and it lasts. I mean, it didn't die in me, so I'm sure it didn't die in a lot of people. That brings me to another question, Leah Moser, dear friend of friend. Name your top 5 artists, musical or just art wise, as a teenager first.
Oh, as a teenager. Okay.
Doesn't have to be in order because it's too much stress
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
I can't think that fast. As a teenager, all right. What was it? Top 3 or top 5?
5. Let's say 5. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't really follow a lot of visual artists in high school. Like a little bit, but not. There wasn't anybody specifically where I was like, I love this person's work. Alan. I felt that way. Ai Weiwei for sure, and like maybe Alan Resnick, but that's kind of it. Music there was a lot more of. I loved Nirvana for the longest time. I'm still a Nirvana fan, but I think they were my favorite band for most of middle school and high school for sure. And then other than that, probably, yeah, My Chemical Romance is probably up there. Oh, Pixies for sure. Yeah, just like rock music. I feel like System of a Down. I do still also really like System of a Down still.
MGMT.
Oh yeah, actually, I would switch MGMT and System of a Down. I definitely like MGMT more than I like System of a Down.
Mm-hmm.
I found MGMT I think through like you or Sorop though.
My brother for sure.
Yeah, he was definitely
He's really, I think he's really like he has a lot to say about music.
Yeah, your brother's always been like a big music person. Like both of you, but I feel like in different ways. Like you play it and write it, and he listens to it and really like, finds like as much as he can,
Yeah, I couldn't put it better. Exactly.
Yeah. Like he's definitely like, he was always that type of person where like I would send him like a band or something and he would be like, oh oh, like this is like this and like these other, you know, like he would like compare it to like 5 different people at once. I was like, how the hell did you like, you know,
Exactly.
extract that from the, you know? So I think you guys are definitely both like music people, but in different ways, which I think is really interesting. It's been nice to see that sort of play out in the way that it has. So how many is that? That's MGMT, Nirvana, what is Pixies?
Hey, well done, Mom.
Chemical Romance. One more. Who's my last one? Ooh. Yeah, I guess
There's another question. Don't worry.
Yeah.
No, hold on. You finish that, and then I ask you another one.
The Beatles or the Strokes? Probably the Strokes. Probably more the Strokes. I got really into that album that they released in like 2013 or something. What is it? This Is the End. Is that what it was called?
Yeah,
I don't even remember what it's called. It's been a while.
Angles or
No.
that was 2011. It was just an EP. Oh, okay, I see. Come Down Machine or something.
Yeah, Come Down Machine.
Come Down Machine. I love the Strokes.
I think that's what it was. Yeah, no, that was a great. That album was like, I was obsessed with that album for a while.
Not that Grammys mean any kind of shit in the world, but like they did recently win, and congratulations for them. Also, my next question. Sorry for not letting you breathe right after the question. Name your top 5 musical artists now. Like you can name 6, 7. It's not.
Ooh.
You know, who cares?
Yeah, I feel like
name how many like. Doesn't matter.
I've
it's
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I know what you mean. It's harder to do now because I feel like my music taste has expanded so much since I left China. Like the really nice thing about leaving China is you suddenly know so many people who listen to like really cool I mean, there's people who listen to really cool music in China, but I feel like a lot of it's limited to like sort of what is famous enough to become relevant over there. So it's like the big people, you know, the people that everybody's heard of. But in America, there's so many people who listen to these like bands that it's like these little like local bands that are like incredible. So it's tough. Oh, I'd say I really like Thundercat. I think Thundercat is awesome. I saw him live once actually.
Oh, really? A couple weeks ago, this girl was like, hey, do you know Thundercats? And I said yes, but I didn't know. And then quickly looked up on Spotify, and I was like, yeah, I do.
Yeah, he's amazing.
It is good. I liked it.
Yeah, he plays what is it? He plays what's it called? Like a 6-string bass. He's so good at what he does. And he's very talented. Like he can do things that like. Yeah.
What is your? I don't know if you remember. What is your first memory of you listening to Thundercat, or what brought you to listening to Thundercat?
A lot of it. I mean, I got Spotify after I moved here. So I feel like I was probably listening to other things, and I had found a Thundercat song through like a different playlist that I was listening to or something. And it was like his most famous song, still kind of his most famous song, which is called Them Changes. I think that's probably one of my favorite songs of all time at this point. I will never not listen to that song if I get an opportunity. It's incredible. Yeah, Them Changes by Thundercat. So I was like, I just started college. Like I was like 2 or 3 months into college, and I was like on the bus. I had taken the train into New York City, and I came back, and I got on the bus to like go back to my dorm, and it was raining, and I was in the back of this bus, and it was dark because it was night, and I would just put this song on, and I was just like, you know how you have those moments where you listen to a song, and it's like the first time that you listen to an amazing song, it's just like this mind-blowing, like soul-expanding experience where you're like,
sometimes,
you know.
sometimes that beautiful feeling is when you don't even realize that what song it is. It's just randomly on, and then you're doing your normal things, and it's like, oh shit, what was that? And then
you're like, yeah, what was that? And then you go back and you're like, this is incredible.
And you listen to it a billion more times, and then now the listens is billion.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, it's like I've listened to this 15 times today. Like, that's fine.
You're welcome, Thundercat.
Yeah, he doesn't need it. He's already
No.
fucking famous
That's
as
what
shit.
I know. That's what you would say, like,
No, I
if you
wish.
listen to a billion times.
I wish I could have a reason to say you're welcome, Thundercat. That man is
Oh.
awesome. He's also hilarious. Like, he's just really funny.
That's the
And
thing
all-
about
and all
music
his-
now. Yeah, music nowadays, we have access to everything, like interviews and everything. That's beautiful,
Yeah, and it's like they can really
Yeah.
let their personality shine through. Also, like social media, they have ways to just be like, this is who I am as a person, and that's really cool, And it always makes you want to support an artist more when you realize that they're just really cool,
Yeah,
You know?
I've felt that in so many
Yeah,
ways, so many
like
different times.
it sucks to learn that like a celebrity that you like is actually an
All
asshole.
right, Moser. All right, Moser. So that was one. How about your 4 other ones?
All right, for right now, all right. I think
No pressure, by the way. You
I
could,
feel so much pressure.
like, totally. You got the other vape. Go for
I
it.
have 2 vapes. I can hit them
Yeah,
both
yeah,
at the
yeah.
same time.
I believe you
It's
because you're so badass.
it's the
like,
digital spliff. That's what it is. It's because it's electric weed and electric tobacco.
Totally. You're making me crave cigarettes. I will do that after this, but let's go. It's not
Yeah,
a
I'm
bad thing.
sorry.
Don't,
Yeah,
no,
I
don't
s-
be sorry. It's good. It's good. This
Yeah.
is a test. No, that's
damn.
good. It's good. I meditate.
So MF Doom for sure. MF Doom is probably one of my like most also rest in peace. Because he died. Apparently, that's actually messed up. I don't know if you know about this. Sort of might know about this because he's more into rap music, but yeah, he died in like October or November of last year, but they didn't announce it to the public. His family didn't announce it to the public until like literally like New Year's night, like December 31st of 2020, and that's like 2 months after he actually died. And so that was a weird death announcement.
So when you were listening to MF Doom, did you know, like, we're still listening through November, October till December 31st?
Yeah, no, I listen to MF Doom all the time. I probably,
so it,
yeah.
it must have been quite an experience for you, like.
Yeah, no,
finding out. Yeah.
It made me really sad, like, because I he's probably one of my like favorite rappers, and he's like considered probably one of the most interesting like hip hop artists of like the last 10 years, and he's done a lot of really amazing, like, I don't think that there's a single album that he's been on that I dislike. Like, I like pretty much everything that he's done, which is rare for artists. I feel like there's always at least a few things that, I'm like, oh, I don't really like this, but I like pretty much everything that man has done, which is like a really a big deal for me. Yeah, but that made me sad because it's like, I almost wish that I had found out when it actually happened, because then I didn't have to like start 2021 being like, oh, like, fuck, like one of my favorite artists is dead now. But I feel like, it's sad, and it makes me sad that you'll never hear anything else from them. But I guess it's like a normal, I mean, like, musicians are human beings, like everyone dies, and you just gotta be okay with that. I bought an MF Doom t-shirt because I was like, I want to give these people my money, since I'm never gonna be able to see a concert or anything. Like, I want to like buy something to commemorate this period in my life where he was so like important for me musically.
I love that feeling. I've had it throughout
Yeah.
my life, and I'm still craving to have that experience, what you just described about MF Doom.
Yeah.
And what was the one you said before that? I'm trying to.
Thundercat.
Thundercat, right? So,
Yeah,
so
Thundercat is like still alive though. He's
Right, so-
he's
so-
young.
so-
He's yeah.
But those, that kind of sudden feeling, like you suddenly want to, like, you're suddenly inspired by everything they do, and you're trying to implement whatever they do into your own life, but not being
Yeah.
a copycat or anything. I
Yeah,
miss
for
that
sure.
feeling. I used to have it throughout, and I'm kind of struggling now, but I think it's possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'll give these a listen, man. I'm open for anything, and
Yeah.
I'll give it a listen.
Yeah, I think I really didn't appreciate rap music and hip hop enough in high school. And I'm sad that I'm sad that I couldn't do it earlier, but I'm doing it now, so I don't feel like I've lost out on anything necessarily. But Yeah, like I really like having like lots of different types of music that I can listen to, aside from just like one sound, because now I have a music for every like occasion, every kind of situation, and also it's like hip hop is awesome. I feel like I was so like rock oriented, that I never really got into it, but I'm glad that I discovered that I actually love it.
It's good to have
yeah.
so many different ways sound can describe or like describe you. It's good. Sound doesn't have to be one way or one personality or one attitude.
Yeah,
it
for
can
sure.
be different ways.
Yeah, it's so varied too. Like I think I just had this idea that hip hop was like this one specific, like Biggie Smalls or like something like that. But there's like so many different, there's so many different artists that are taking different approaches to it, and it's all good. Like I like,
Number 3.
King Cruel. King Cruel?
Yeah, that's this redhead, beautiful ginger.
Yeah, awesome, beautiful ginger. Very sad British ginger man. King Cruel really hits different, honestly.
It is very different. I only heard one song by him. It was on
Really?
It was live on Letterman or Conan or something.
Oh,
that's the only one I've heard.
Yeah, a lot of
Very good.
Yeah, King Cruel is good music for if you're like when you're like emotionally devastated.
That's me most of the times.
Yeah, he definitely captures that whole like melancholy sort of like I don't know what I'm doing with my life type of like lost sadness and anger.
He probably does know what he's doing in his life, but he's still lost.
He definitely knows now. I mean, he's like pretty famous, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I totally get what you just said.
Yeah,
I totally do.
Yeah, but it's like a feeling, because I think I mean, even from the beginning his sound was very like, I wouldn't say bedroom pop, but very like introverted, like internal, sort of like it's very heavy, not like in it's like abrasive or anything, but it's just very like it's like how you would imagine music would feel if you were on heroin all the time, just like sleepy and like kind of like sad, but in a like sad music is nice sometimes though, because it kind of makes you feel heard, especially when you're also sad, and so I like that as sort of like a thing that I can go to, like, on a rainy day, or like when I just need to like be sad and listen to sad music. Though he's very versatile. I'm making this sound like it's just sad music, but
I know. You just thinking about this one feeling you got, like that really got you into him, and that's
yeah.
Exactly.
And he's consistent
totally
with it too. It's like most of his stuff is sort of in that same like realm of feeling. So it's consistent enough where I can be like, yeah, like King Cruel is what I want to listen to right now.
So which number are we on now? 5?
That
4?
was 3. Or that was 4. That was 4.
Yeah, that was 4.
That was 4. So I have one more.
The last one. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, I think I'll say like a couple different rappers for the 5th one, just because I really don't want to.
Sure, you can add.
Yeah, I don't want to differentiate.
2, 3
it's tough to. So I want to plug some slightly smaller name female rappers, because I think they deserve some love. Because like it sucks that I got into hip hop, but when I first got into like rap and hip, like it was very like male centered. It was it's like most of the big names are men, and then sort of after that, after I'd listened to everything that everybody else is listening to, like the classics, I was like, all right, let's see like what else there is. And there are a couple, specifically Tierra Whack and No Name. Her name is No Name. Two like very super creative, super interesting female rappers. Tierra Whack is a little bit more like funny, like she's kind of like quirky, and she kind of makes she's she's got like a kind of a bubbly personality, and all her videos are always really funny, and you know, like her songs, like she'll always like, you know, like there's definitely humor to it. Like she's kind of silly and like more loose. And then No Name is a lot more like serious. But it's more like traditional rap and instrumentals, and it's very like sort of jazz and R&B influenced also, which is really nice. So like a lot of her songs are just beautiful, and I'm just like, this is a beautiful song because, you know, there's, you know, a female voice
It does something
in a
different.
rap song. Yeah,
It hits different in
yeah,
every genre in a
yeah,
way. But I'll let you finish.
yeah.
Yes.
The approach to it is just like
Yeah.
a lot softer and a lot more sort of, you know, like sensitive.
Exactly.
Yeah, so they're definitely some of the people that I've been listening to a lot of like in the last year. And they're both just like cool. They're both just cool people. No
So
Name
so
specifically is really
so
cool because
let me
yeah.
just recall it back real quick. What Leah Moser said. So the first one was Thundercat, and then
Thundercat.
number 4 MF Doom. Number 3 was
Be Cruel.
King Cruel, and number 2 3 it's okay. Number 2 is Tierra Whack and
No Name.
No names. So
No
wait.
Name.
Yeah, no names.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, man.
Yeah.
So please, you guys check that out, and if you got the time, if you got
Yeah.
the premium, if not, enjoy all the ads. They're beautiful. You'll remember them like I did, and a lot of people did.
Watch the music videos. Watch the Tierra Whack Whack World. The Whack World is the whole album, but each song is like a minute long, and so it's just one really long video. It's like a 5 minute. It's like a it's a music video, but it's like 5 or 6 different music videos put together. It's really cool.
That's interesting.
You know, yeah. I mean, like it's all her. And there's a little bit of consistency in the way that it's filmed, but it's like a different set, a different outfit for like every song. It's cool. Yeah. Yeah, visuals are a big thing too. I'm beginning to realize even more, like, you know, older bands never really had to do the music video thing so much, but you know, now people are just getting crazy with it.
Back in the day, man. Back in my day, not
back in my day.
Back in the days, all they had, like at least in the beginning, you know, they had like radio.
In the beginning, God created
this. And then after that came, you know, MTV and vinyl. You know, and the vinyls, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And later on, right now, what we have is a combination of everything. We have interviews. We know what favorite food they have. You know, where they hang out.
Yeah.
You know all their insecurities, whatever. You know, and then so things that stand out is what we love, and you know, we just, you know, if we love someone, we just know everything about them. And
good people who make good music.
Good people who make good music, and this is Leah Moser's choices, and please check it out. We're Third Culture Kids, and it's almost time to it's almost time to wrap it up, but I'm not gonna let it end right now. I have one more question to ask my dear friend Leah Moser, and that question is, if you could turn back in time and speak to your 17 or 18-year-old self, what would you do to her or ask her?
I would say, like, as a sort of general thing, to not get too deep into all of my own personal issues. I guess just like don't take yourself so seriously. And you know, try and like don't let your expectations for things like ruin the actual experience. You know, like just because something doesn't live up to what you wanted it to be doesn't mean that you can't still enjoy it and learn something from it. And it's not a waste of time if you do that, you know. And also just like believe in yourself a little more, because you can do things even if you think that you can't.
That's beautiful.
You know?
And also another thing I would like to point out is rock and roll is not only a genre, but also Leah Moser. And I would like to ask Leah Moser
It's a lifestyle.
No, not only lifestyle, but it just means rebellion in a way, you know. And also, I would like to ask Leah Moser to give you guys all um, like an advice, and how would you know, what would you have to say to somebody who feels like an absolute outsider? You know, what would you give in a suggestion? And you got the floor now. Take your time.
Mm. Um,
Outsider, yeah, no, doesn't matter. Outsider is pretty broad, so
everyone feels like an outsider. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
from your
I
point of
mean,
view,
it's like everyone, yeah, everyone has their own insecurities that make them feel like an outsider, even if they don't look like one. And you can find your people easier than you think. But I mean, also, I feel like you gotta just kind of learn to be okay with that a little bit. Like as much as you can, like learn to embrace the things that make you like weird or an outsider, and then just try and find people that identify with that also. It's like you have to first be okay with the things that you think make you different from other people. And once you sort of accept those and you're not afraid of them anymore, and you're not afraid of letting people see them, it can actually attract people who think and feel the same as you. Because if you just are like, okay, you're like, all right, this is who I am. Maybe I'm an outsider, but I'm just gonna do things the way that I want to. And if people don't want to like fuck with me because of that, like that's okay. But like you should just do your thing, because eventually people will see you doing your thing and be like, oh, like they're doing that thing, like I also want to do that thing, maybe I should talk to them about it. you know don't ever think that people are beneath you, like just because someone is maybe not as experienced as you or hasn't done certain things that you have, like their opinions on some things can still matter.
yeah.
And you should
And when
also
we
always be as open to accepting them as they would be to you, I guess. you know
exactly, and then when
yeah.
we think people are beneath you, sorry, when we think people are beneath us, it actually means that we actually think that we're beneath some other people, and that's what brings the perspective in the first place, and that's why we
Yeah, exactly.
project that anyway. So
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful, pretty, fucking brilliant, man. Fucking yeah, yeah, Leah, man, you're fucking amazing. I love you, and
Thanks, you man. I miss you so much, dude. I
I
I
do.
I miss talking to you. I don't like your viewers should know. Me and Sid have spent many nights very very fucked up in some way or another, just like talking about life. Like I've had more conversations with you just about like life in general than I have with a lot of people.
And
And
just so you
yeah.
guys know, we didn't plan this or anything. This is my
No.
first time talking to her in 2 years in video, and in chat. So
Yeah.
everything that came out is improvised and a little bit of notes, but that don't really matter because.
Yes, it's
But yeah,
prepared. That's not. Yeah. Yeah.
but
But
yeah, she,
I think,
yeah.
yeah, I like talking about life with you because I feel like, you're also very sensitive to these things, I think. And I don't meet people like that all the time. And so I try and value the people that I know can think like that, and it's nice because then you can just like talk about stuff.
So
And I miss you.
I
I miss
miss
you very
you.
much.
Miss you too.
I think we should hang out. I think you should come over sometime and we
I
can we
will.
can
I
we
will
can
take
watch
the
a
bus.
movie.
No, we will do crazy things. We'll make a vlog. Let's do that. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll make a vlog
Yeah.
for your channel and my whatever. So yeah, if so yeah, I would like to plug my friend. I'd like to plug my friend Leah Moser. And is there anything you'd like to give a shout out to, your ongoing projects, or you know your music,
Ongoing. I
art,
mean, I'm always doing
clown
stuff.
college?
Clown College. Yeah, actually, yeah, that's my art Instagram is Clown College with K's instead of C's. So KLONWCKOLLEGE. And it's on Instagram. And that's my photography account. If you want to look at some of my photography, it's not all of it. I post things often. And yeah, also my Vimeo account is in the bio of my Instagram handle. My Vimeo, it's videos. So if you want to see my video work, there's some of my video work on Vimeo as well. I do commercial work as well as editing for money. So let me know.
No, she's brilliant. Not only because she's my friend, but she's also really emotionally intelligent. And if you have any art projects or whatever, according to what she just said, keep in touch with her. Yeah. And
I mean, yeah.
No.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's it. I'm working on my thesis like right now, so it will be done sometime at the end of this year, and it'll be amazing. No, I don't know that for sure.
I believe it. I believe in you, friend.
Hopefully.
Unconditional love.
Pray for me, Sid. That's all that I ask for you. You're not paying me for this and anything, so just keep me in your thoughts and prayers.
Who knows? Maybe I will. If it just ends up somewhere.
Light a candle for me.
I light something else for you.
Oh yeah, actually, digital spliff.
Like poop.
Fuck you.
Like gypsy style.
Like I haven't seen you in years, and like the first thing you do is you like send me you send me a box of shit.
Oh, you know that website where you can send people shit? You know that one? It's for your ex lovers.
Is that real? That's gotta be illegal. They're gonna get hit by a lawsuit at some point.
I don't give a shit. I hope we don't give, but I think my friend showed me. Oh, look at that. But Leah, I love you, and let's give a shout out to Ecstasy.
Oh yeah, Ecstasy, weed. Shout out to marijuana for making me the person that I am today.
Yeah, me too. I wouldn't be anything close to what I am.
Yeah, I would be a very different person. Yeah, shout out drugs.
No lies.
Shout out mental illness. Shout out adolescence and hormones. Yeah.
Hormones. Fuck you, hormones.
Shout out no drinking age. Yeah.
And love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. This is my lovely friend Leah Moser. Please, I'm gonna put all the links in the description and all the unnecessary things too, so you can choose. And also I'm gonna put my link, selfless self-promotion. And thank you very much. Peace out. Thanks for taking your time. I don't know how long it's been. It could have been 2 hours or 200 years.
Oh wow, it's been like 2 hours.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Is it? Has it?
I mean, we started this at like 10. It's been like an hour and almost an hour and a half. Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. Either ways. Oh my god. This is long. This is longer than the last one. But I'm not gonna. Okay. Yeah. Thank you guys.
Edit out the boring parts.